Hi friends, welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Caitlin and I like to film eyeshadow palette ranking and review videos, as well as the occasional other beauty content sprinkled in. So if any of those things sound interesting to you, I highly recommend that you hit that subscribe button because I post 2 videos every single week. And for those of you that are not new here, my face is happy that you are seeing it again. And I am just checking that my eyelash didn't lift. I have a very fun video for today. If you are not new here, I had a series that was a would I buy it again series. The video originally came from Dolly Mama Beauty. I will make sure to link one of her videos from that series in the description box below. But I was doing that series gearing up for my eyeshadow palette declutter. I thought it would be fun to go through my whole collection prior to my eyeshadow palette declutter and figure out, like, if I wouldn't buy them again, should I really keep them in my collection? But listen, I did not make it all the way through all of my palettes prior to the eyeshadow palette declutter because I wanted to post that at the beginning of the year, you know, start fresh, clean slate, all of that. So I'm back with another one, and it's a little complicated to try and pick the palettes now, but we're doing it. So I have the 15 eyeshadow palettes. I pulled a random number generator, went through my collection. Luckily, I was keeping track of the palettes that I picked before, so these are all palettes that I have not done in this series. I don't even know what part we're on. I think it's like part 1,000,000 at this point. I will have it obviously listed in the title, so you know what part we're on, but me, as of right now, did not. So what we're gonna do is talk about every eyeshadow palette that I have picked. Like I said, I used a random number generator to just pull random palettes in my collection. And I would tell you, if this palette were launching right now, right here and now, in this moment, would I pick it up? Would I purchase it? I have such a large collection that palettes, like if I would repurchase them, there's not a ton of those. If we come across any of those, I'll let you know because those are obviously palettes that I really, really like. But for the most part, the idea is like if this palette had never launched before but was launching now, would I buy it? So if that sounds interesting to you, give this video a thumbs up and go ahead and keep on watching. If you are curious, I am wearing the, I don't know if it's May or Mai, it's M-A-I wig from insert name here, and I have tucked it because it was a little bit in my face. But anyways, starting off, we have the Ninhydrin palette from Adept Cosmetics. This palette is almost an all shimmer palette. There's 2 mattes in here, but this palette is absolutely stunning. Adept has amazing shifty, shimmery, duochrome, multi-chromes. Like their shimmers are out of this world. So I would 100% pick this up if this were launching right now. Milk Cosmetics Bad Side Zodiac. This is the Earth palette. This is what the inside of the palette looks like. It is my favorite of the 4, but this is not my favorite collection from Melt. But if I'm being honest with myself, I'm a Melt stan. If Melt launched these palettes right now, I would pick this up. Next up is the Spellbound Beauty Witchcraft palette. It has a few mattes, but mostly like duochrome shades in the middle here. I am on a low buy, a lower buy. It's not going very well, but I'm supposed to be on a low buy. So I think if this launched right now, I would probably skip it only because Spellbound Beauty is not a brand that I buy a lot of palettes from, like a formula that I would know and like. But listen, I actually skipped this palette initially when it did launch, but my friend Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner DM'd me and was like, you would really like this palette, you should get it. And so I got it. So if that happened again, I probably would pick it up. I'm very easily influenced, but I think I would skip this one. Not that I should. I really like that palette. So me saying I wouldn't purchase it if it launched right now doesn't mean that it's not a good palette. A lot of times they're really good palettes. I just know that I'd skip it and then I'd be sad about it. And that one, I'd skip it and that would probably tell me that I need it and then I'd get it. So this palette, you should all know the answer to this one. This is the Ace Beauté Paletopoly palette. If you haven't seen the inside, because this is your first time on my channel, this is what the inside of this palette looks like. This was this my number 1? I think this might have been my number 1 palette for 2022. I absolutely love and adore this palette, this color story, everything about it. This is a palette where if something happened to this palette, I would repurchase it and re-put it back in my collection. So of course, if it launched right now, I would 100% be buying it. I love it. Oden's Eyes Solmon 2. Here's what the inside of the palette looks like. I would buy this palette if it launched solely because of that purple shade. That's what pulled me in before. I think I really like Oden's Eyes formula, so I think if this launched right now, I would like the color story enough to pick it up. So I think I would purchase this. Although in hindsight, I feel like it's a somewhat similar vibes to the Nomad Cosmetics Iceland palette. It's a little bit different. It's not like an exact dupe, but like, I don't know that I really need both. But if it launched right now, I like Oden's Eye. I like this color story. I'd probably grab it. Speaking of the Nomad Cosmetics Iceland Fire and Ice palette, here is that palette. When I say it's similar, just like it has like the cool blues and the warm oranges. Like I said, not exact dupes at all. It's just somewhat similar vibes. I would 1000% pick this palette up if Nomad launched it right now. I love this palette. I think it's stunning. I love Nomad. So yeah, I would be grabbing this. I usually have a little bit more of an even split on my palettes, but so far that's not how this is going. Next up is the Melt Cosmetics Radioactive palette. This palette is pretty old for Melt. I actually didn't buy this when it initially launched. I don't know if I was into Melt at the time that it initially launched, but I had like 3 palettes that were the only eyeshadow palette that Melt had ever had that I didn't have. So I bought these on, I think it was Poshmark last year. I think this one was new. Like it was like in box unused when I bought it off of Poshmark. But anyways, if Melt launches like right now, I probably would pick it up. Ooh, I could have created this eye look that I did today with this palette. I did not. I used the Nomad Cosmetics Paradise Islands palette in the Made by Mitchell color case. If you were curious, that's how I created this look. But anyways, I could have used this palette. I probably would pick this up if Melt launched right now. Like I said earlier, I'm a Melt stan, so pretty much anything they launch, I'm probably picking up. Is that great purchasing habits? Probably not. We're gonna hit my 2 Viseart palettes next. So this is the Viseart Paris Etoile palette. First of all, I always like to show this, but it has the like skyline of the city of Paris on the back. But anyways, this is what the palette looks like. I probably would skip this if Viseart launched this right now. Listen, I love Viseart. A lot of you seem to like that I like Viseart, or if Viseart launches something are asking me to review it. But this is just really leans on the neutral side. I don't tend to like smaller palettes, so I'm trying to be better about picking them up. So I don't like, because this is the one that started the love of the Etoile palettes, especially because they have the little city skyline. So if this was launching right now, I wouldn't pick it up. But now that I have started my collection of these Etoile palettes, I'll probably continue to get them. I don't know. We'll see. Next up is the Viseart Petite Mattes Dark palette. If this one launched right now, would I pick it up? I don't know. There was a time frame where I lost my mind and went ham buying eyeshadow palettes, especially ones that were like on sale, and I was obsessed with Viseart, and I bought like every Viseart palette ever at like one time, like within a week of each other. So I don't know. I don't think I would. Ooh, I don't know. I do not know. I'm going to say no because of the low buy. I feel like right now I would skip this one because I'm not in like an eyeshadow palette frenzy, just buying everything that's launching from any brand that I like. So I think I'd skip that one. Cash Beauty Color Trip palette. This is the palette that has like the eyeshadows and the water activated liners. I absolutely adore this palette. I also love Kaylee, who is I think she's the owner, CEO of Cash Beauty. So that being said, because Cash Beauty tends to launch more like neutral things, if they were launching this like colorful palette, I think I would grab it, especially because there's that row of purples, and I do like water activated liners. So yeah, I think I would pick this up if this launched right now, and I want to use this. So there was one person that was interested in a week of like doing my makeup with using like no new products. I feel like I could revisit this palette if I did that video, but I don't know. Next up is the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. I basically collect these midi-size palettes now, so if this one were launching right now, I think I would pick it up. Even though I don't love warm tones, I do like kind of a sunset or sunrise themed eye, so I think I would still grab this one. This is the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. Same thing as the Sunrise. If this launched right now, I'd probably grab it just because I essentially collect these. So There we are. Okay, let's do the Oden's Eye and Annette from an eye. This hair is in my face. Let's do the Oden's Eye collab with Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner. This is the Giant Wolves palette. Unfortunately, this palette is discontinued, but it's absolutely gorgeous, stunning. I love Annette, so yeah, I would 100% pick this up. No questions asked. Last two palettes that we're going to do are from Kaleidos. So this is the Kaleidos Makeup Futurism 3, the Astro Pink palette. This is the like little 6-pan palettes that they used to do. And I would totally buy these if they launched them right now. I haven't really been loving the quads that they've been doing. I think Flower Punk was probably the last palette that they launched that I really vibed with. So if they went back to doing this format, I would be really excited and I would pick it up for sure. On that same note, we have the Kaleidos Futurism 6 Lunar Lavender palette. That is the same format. Oops. And that is what that palette looks like. I hope I'm not flashing you guys with the mirror. I would totally buy this. I love purples. This palette is great. So yeah, I would pick this up faux show. Those are the 15 palettes. So let's do a count. Okay, so it's basically 2.5 palettes that I would not pick up. So it's the 2 Viseart palettes, and I'm counting this as a half one because like I said, I wouldn't pick it up if Annette had it and told me I would grab it. So it's like a half not picking it up, but 2 to 3 of the 15 I would not pick up if launching right now. That Witchcraft palette is really pretty though. So yeah, so those 3, but the other 12 I would all pick up if they were to launch right now. And then the Ace Beauté palette is probably the one palette that if something happened to it, I would actually repurchase it. I would do the same with my Giant Wolves palette, but it's discontinued, so I wouldn't be able to. But anyways, those are my thoughts on all those 15 palettes. I always have fun playing this game. Let me know if you want to see me continue the series again. And that's everything for me, so I will see you all next time.